people get up. I had this live at 9:10, and then unfortunately, just as I went to pick up my camera to start recording, I dropped my camera and it shut off. So all the people that were waiting in line are going to have to get back over onto this stream. I'll give everybody a minute to switch over. If you are watching this video in retrospect down the line a little bit, and say tomorrow, whenever after this video is posted, just go ahead and skip forward a little bit. You can skip through all this waiting time. We're just going to kind of hang out here and wait till everybody gets on. For those that are just joining in, I was kind of explaining it. I dropped my camera just as I picked it up to get started with the live stream, and unfortunately it canceled the live stream, and so I'm having to start it over again. So we're just waiting for everybody to get on. It's a windy one out there today. Extremely windy. I was going to record something else today, but it was just so windy outside that it just was not going to happen. Yeah, happy Memorial Day to everybody else as well. I'm not doing anything special until this evening, so I had some free time, so I thought I'd come out here. It's way too windy to go to the lake today, that's for sure. Having 60 and 70 mile an hour wind gust out there right now here. Excuse my voice a little bit if I have to sneeze or cough a little bit. There's so much pollen in the air right now. It's messing with my throat a little bit. Check out these trees while we're waiting for everybody to get on. It's not so bad right here. I'm sure that's messing with the mic even a little bit. Did I say? Yeah, I sold the Viking. I sold that a couple weeks ago. That'll be in my next video though, so that comes out on, I believe, Thursday. Any more farm cleanups? I've actually got one I'm gonna do probably Wednesday or Thursday. Get away from that wind so I can talk to you guys without it distorting it a little bit. But yeah, actually I've got something really cool going on tomorrow, as long as it's not too muddy. And but that video won't post for a couple weeks, and then probably Wednesday or Thursday I'm gonna go do a farm cleanup. Probably gonna wait just a little bit longer, let some more people get on, and then we'll get started with the tour. Now I know some of you may be thinking that barn's not abandoned. You own that barn, and yes, I know I technically own this barn, but some of the stuff down here I put in here, but everything upstairs has been here for decades. It's been just abandoned by previous owners. The last 3 previous owners of this property have left stuff in here, and so it's all just abandoned stuff that I inherited with the property. So it technically is abandoned stuff up there. About 30 more seconds and then we'll start the actual tour. Now I got people from all over the world checking in right now. That's pretty cool. Good morning to everybody. It's really nice outside. It's beautiful weather outside other than the wind. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too humid, not too dry. It's just really, really stinking windy. Boom. That door over there is slammed. Okay, there we go. Let me get out of this wind. I'll kind of explain it one more time what I'm going to do today. It's too windy to record what I was going to record today, so what I did was I came out here to my place. I've got this old barn. I don't know what year this barn was built. It was built a long time ago. I'm guessing probably in the World War II era, probably in the 1930s, 1940s. And this was a salvage yard in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And then they sold out to a recycling yard, and they were here for 3 or 4 years. And then it became kind of like a storage yard slash they had where they rebuilt wrecked cars. So they had parts cars out here, and it was that sort of stuff for another 20 years after that. And so then I got this place, and so there's stuff upstairs. Some of the stuff upstairs is very, very old. I've kind of glanced through it a couple times, but I've never really gone through it in depth. So that's what we're going to do together today. I've owned this place for 1.5 years now, and I haven't really had a chance to go through it. I'm going to try to answer questions if possible. If you have questions, they don't necessarily have to be related to this. I'll try to answer any questions you may have, but I do have to watch where I'm walking, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to watch the screen and where I'm walking, because I do not want to fall through a 3-story floor. That would not be a good day. Coolest thing I found, man, I found so much cool stuff. I don't even know. I found some really cool stuff. Old bicycle stuff's probably my favorite. I found an old Schwinn tank one time in the scrap that's off of a Schwinn Excelsior. I found an old Schwinn Whizzer engine one time. I'm gonna walk up these stairs. Ow, I already hit my head once. I'm not used to going up this set of stairs. I usually go up the other set. Okay, let's turn this camera around. There we go. Yeah, what I'll have to do, I got this set of stairs here and another set over there. So I can only do one side at a time because this does not go through to the other side. So we'll just kind of go through here, see if we can find anything. And there's another story up here we can go through as well. This actually collapsed on me a while back. The boards rotted out. So I had them come in and put a steel brace under there so it'll hold it up. We just shipped a few loads to Jackson, Tennessee. I haven't shipped anything there for a while, but I think we're going to start going there again. There's some pretty neat stuff in here. I don't know what all this is. There's an old spare tire cover. I had a buddy one time took one of those, and he had a 61 Impala and he wanted to make a Continental kit. So he took one of those and he took the cover that goes in it and all that, and he took some bumpers off of a 60s MG, I think it was, and he put it all together and made a custom Continental kit out of it. It was pretty cool. There's a blast from the past. Don't see those anymore. Those might actually be worth some money. Off an old Chrysler out of the probably early 90s, late 80s. This floor, I have to be really careful where I walk because a few of these boards are broken and they're not very thick boards. So I try to kind of walk on the joists. There's lots and lots of wood in here. There's an old tire there. Just never really looked over here. That's something old. I don't know what it's out of. Yeah, I'm gonna guess some sort of foreign car. Doesn't look American, but it could be. Don't really know. Let's see what else we got in here. There's an old Ford truck taillight trim. When this was an operating salvage yard, they mainly dealt in antique cars. They didn't really do late model stuff. So anything I find in here is probably going to be antique. What's this? Headlight cover? Oh, an old Thunderbird. That's cool. You guys know I like Thunderbirds. I'm not entirely sure what year that would be off of. I'm not sure. Anything else good? I don't see anything over there. Bunches of lawn chairs. Now, I have never seen so many lawn chairs. There's a no DOT date on that lens. That's what makes me think that it's not American. All these lawn chairs, these aluminum lawn chairs. There's some plastic ones here too. Those are probably just trash. Some patio tables. If they're not too brittle, I might be able to sell them to somebody. But these up here, these aluminum ones, those will sell for sure. There's lots of people collect those. Like I say, I'm walking really slow so I don't fall through the floor. Check out these things. We got some pool loungers, got bunches of vintage chairs, all sorts of neat stuff in here. I've got a really cool fold-up aluminum chair at home that I really like. It needs new upholstery, but one of these days I'll take it to an upholstery shop and get it redone and keep it. Yeah, all these here, people collect these things and they put new upholstery on them, new straps, whatever. So all those there will sell. I just gotta market them, get them out of here and clean them up a little bit. Here's an old set of steps. Those are kind of cool. I'm sure somebody will buy those. That sort of stuff is what sells good down in Texas. Now this here, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is some sort of just small bed or if this is a lounging chair, like a lawn chair or pool chair. I mean, it can be a pool. It's made out of wood, so it would get ruined, but it's got wheels on it for it to roll around easier. So I really don't have a clue what it is. Trying to figure out what's underneath it there. I don't know what that is either. Yeah, there might be a market for this piece. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see down here, this floor is not very thick. Yeah, lounging chair. That's kind of what I thought it was. I assumed it was a lounging chair. There's a bunch more stuff up there, but we'll go up there here in a minute. Oh, that's cool. Check this out. These here used to sell for really big money online. Back when the steampunk craze was really going. One like that there would bring 20, 25 bucks, no problem. Nowadays you can buy them brand new at Hobby Lobby for $8. Don't get me started on Hobby Lobby. I am not a fan. They steal intellectual property, claim it as their own, and mass produce it in China for dirt cheap. Yeah, right there's a nice hole to fall through. Gotta step over this cable. This building has a steel frame in it, and that's the only thing really holding this thing up. And it's got these cables that run up to it, and it's got chains on it, and that's kind of what holds this building together. My ultimate plan for this building, honestly, is to tear it down. I have no intentions of keeping this thing. It's just a really old, dilapidated building. But for the time being, it's still holding together pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about it. I've got other, more pressing issues. Bunches of neat stuff under here. The remnants of an old barrel. And what does this doohickey? What did we find here? American radiator. Oh, a vacuum. Oh, an industrial vacuum cleaner. Huh. That's kind of cool. That's old. That's very old. What is that? Arco wand? Vacuum cleaner. American Radiator Company. Oil once each month. Huh. Yeah, Andrew, don't get me started on Hobby Lobby. I'm not gonna say any more about Hobby Lobby. Wow, that is so cool. I have no clue if it's worth anything or not, but it's definitely a very interesting piece. A very old piece. It looks like a very heavy piece. I'm not entirely sure how I get that out of here, but what's in the barrel? Oh, just straps. Nothing good in there. Get in here a little bit further. What's up here? That's some cool stuff. I always sell these things here. What I'll do is I save them up until I have a 5-gallon bucket full. Then, you know, I can get probably 50 bucks out of a bucket full of that sort of stuff. And these once again, when the steampunk craze was going, big time gears like this, boy, those used to bring big money. I'd put lots of 5 or 6 of those together and get 15, 20 bucks. It was crazy back in the day. That's what got my eBay store started, was gears. See if there's anything else cool under here. Looks like an old headlight bucket. It's made out of brass, so it's pretty old. Anything else? All these bearings like that. I've got a guy that does blacksmith work and makes knives, and he loves these bearings. They make really cool looking knives. He's made me a couple. I just give him that sort of stuff, and every now and then if I see a different design of a knife I like, I say, hey, make me one of these. And he figures it out and makes me one. Well, there's some more electrical hardware. All that'll sell. People make arts and crafts out of it nowadays. It's illegal to use in your home. Well, here we go. Window defroster. Don't see those too often anymore. Had suction cups on it, so you'd stick it to your window and it would defrost it. Got those little wires into there. They did not work very well. Let's see here. If I can make it through here without falling. Now this video is going to be quite a bit different than my normal barn exploration videos. just because those are heavily edited, so there's not a whole lot of downtime. Whereas this one here, what is that? This one here is going to have a lot of what I would call dead space in it, but that's what live and uncut means. But what is this? I have no clue. Is this some sort of hide stretcher? I don't know. Can't really figure it out. It's big. Huh. What else we got up here? Oh, that's cool. Check this out. What does that say? Gold crest. Good clamp on the old steering wheel. That's probably worth some money right there. A little vintage electric fan. Yeah, that's definitely probably worth some money there. Here's an old distributor. Probably have an old Ford tractor. Anything else in there? Old brake shoes. Man, I've got boxes of brand new of these. Really don't have much value though. Let's see here. Anything else good? Here's a vintage chair of some sort. It's a swivel chair even. It rotates. Let's see if we can get it up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's definite vintage there. 1970s probably. I used to have a couch when I first moved out on my own. Didn't have much money, so I went to an auction and I bought a vinyl green couch about that same color there. And that's what I had for a long time in my house. Everybody laughed at me. Anything else cool? That's kind of a cool shelf. I like that. Still in pretty good shape too. Don't see anything else really good in here. Nope, don't see anything down there. I'm sure there's odds and ends trinkets buried down in this mess of junk all over the floor. Not even sure what all's back there. Oh, what are those? Let's see here. Oh, I bet you those are out of like RVs and campers and stuff like that. Kind of to make your cabinets a little bit more fancy looking. Put them around the edges of stuff. Probably no value in those, but they're definitely old. That's probably a good landfill item. Okay. I'm going to walk back down here slowly without falling through the floor again. Bunches of wood in here, which the way price of wood has gone up, some of this might be worth some money now. I knew all this wood was in here. I was planning on just taking it out and burning it, but there might be some value here now. I would have loved to have seen this place when it was in operation as an actual salvage yard. And this is clear full of vintage parts. I've heard stories. Back when this salvage yard closed out up here, I don't know if it was this area or up here or where it was, but somewhere there was a whole bunch of old radiator shells that had the radiators inside them off your old cars out of the 20s and 30s. And the guy came up here and bought them all and scrapped them all for the copper. That was back before. That was back in around 92, 93. That was before old car stuff was really worth anything. Certain stuff was, but for the most part, it really wasn't. There we go. Wiggle my way back down. For those that weren't here for the very beginning of the video, some of the stuff down here at the bottom level I've put in here, but a lot of the stuff was already in here. It's been some of the stuff's been here for decades. But we'll go in here real quick. This is all the stuff from when I cleaned out my trailer here the other day before I went camping. I say the other day, that's been over a month ago now. But there's some of this stuff was in here when I bought the place. All this stuff back here was here. There's some pretty cool stuff. There's a nice Dodge truck tailgate right there. Real nice one. I'm sure that's worth some money. Copper radiator. There we go. Some old carburetors. A couple old Fords. Looks like an old Chevy. A couple old Chevys there. Nothing super fancy. Hey, I could have used those ramps for a trailer. I needed those a few months ago. Some trailer wheels. Doesn't look like anything good back here. Some obsolete propane bottles. Well, that one over there is usable still, but the rest of these, they don't have the safety valve on them, so nobody will refill them anymore. So looks like junk tires. Huh. If you didn't watch my video where I cleaned out that trailer, you need to go back and watch that. There's some really cool stuff in there. All sorts of cool stuff. I just put it all in here for now. I'll put it on eBay later. Speaking of eBay, I got kicked off of eBay last week. I put a car part in the wrong category, and I guess that's a major no-no. And so they kicked me off for 3 days. But I'm back on now. I just sold all these. These are old baking sheets. Whole bunch of them. And I don't know what the guy's going to do with them, but I thought, man, somebody ought to need those for something. And so I threw them on Facebook, and they sold pretty quick. Supposed to be here this week to get them. There's a cool old Ford tailgate. I really like the colors on that thing. The red and white. That's pretty neat. There's some more of those deals. I started cleaning this room out over here. I cleaned off a bunch of these shelves and all the stuff that was in this area here. I just got to come in here and sweep it up now. And there's a little bit of metal in here. Like that scrap metal, all that scrap metal. That desk, I ran out of room in my trash dumpster, so I'll have to put that in the next one. But I want to get all this area cleaned out and all this area over here cleaned out. And that way I can put a bunch of old car parts on pallets and auction it off. I didn't quite make it for this current auction that's getting ready to happen, but hopefully for the next one I'll actually be ready. And this is the most progress I've made yet, because I cleaned out this whole area and that whole area the other day. So these here are pretty cool. These were here when I bought the place. These old registries. I'll clean this off a little bit so you can read it. The McCaskey Safe Register. Receipt invoices on them. And that way they could just go through and look through the file. What they were looking for. There's one right there. Ford Motor Company. That's pretty neat. Let's get that out of there and check it out. Look at those old Ford batteries on there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what was in here, was for ordering stuff and for receipts and that sort of stuff. Pretty neat pieces. I don't know if they have any value or not, but they're definitely neat, so I'm not going to junk those or anything like that. And there's bunches of just trash in there I got to clean out of here. When I was getting ready to buy this place, the guy that sold it to me kind of had a few memory issues. I don't want to talk bad about the guy. He's deceased now, but he forgot a lot of stuff, and so he bought everything on the place, and he came in here and bulldozed all this stuff up in a pile and was going through here and pulling out anything of any value he could find and trying to sell it after we had already made the deal to buy the place. So kind of a bad deal. So luckily I was able to come in and just multiple times say, hey, remember you sold us? And we actually wrote it down in multiple places, that way he wouldn't forget anymore. But in the meantime, he had already bulldozed all this stuff in a pile. All these shelves here are clear full of newer stuff. This is stuff that the last previous owner put in here. So I doubt there's any real value here. Although some of these old cassette players have actually started to come up in value. It kind of blows me away. And even a few of your old, cool vintage CD players have started to come up in value. Kind of blows me away for people who want that retro look. But I've actually sold a few cassette players lately for decent money. There's an old Mopar radio. That's probably worth something. You'll have to go through these and look them up. The problem with these here is this building is not a sealed building, so they've had condensation on them, so I'm sure they're going to have to be taken apart and all the electronics cleaned on them. Otherwise they won't work. Some more hardware. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen this place back when these were clear full of vintage parts. I guess all these shelves were clear full of carburetors and magnetos and distributors and generators and starters. I've talked to everybody I know that used to deal with old car stuff, hoping somebody has pictures of this place when it was in operation back in the 70s and 80s, but haven't been able to find any pictures yet. Check that out. That little valve's kind of neat. My eBay name is SJM_junkteaks. I usually put a link to it in the description of my videos. Obviously, it's not in this one yet, but once I post this video after it's done being live, it'll be in there. One more row of shelves. Bungees galore. I'm sure they're all rotted. Oh, this is neat. Old phone. Probably not a lot of value there, but there's probably a little bit. I still remember my grandparents, when I was a kid, had one of those old dial phones like that. Yeah, this shelving would probably cost a fortune to make these days. I'll probably try to salvage it if possible and sell it. Check that light out. That's pretty neat. Even this stuff right here is just unreal expensive right now. Just plywood. Just crazy. Never thought I'd see the day that prices of that stuff would go so high. Oh, kind of a funny story. You see this electrical line coming through here. I'll show you guys this real quick while I'm thinking of it. This line here comes through here and it goes over to the breaker box now. Right there. But originally, that wasn't there. It was just a bare, not bare wire obviously, but it was just one layer of insulation running through the side of the barn, and it didn't even have a weather head outside. It just literally had a hole cut in the tin running through, and it was wearing a hole in the copper wire. And it was about to burn the place down. And I saw that, I said, no way. So I had an electrician buddy of mine come in here and fix it up and put a better breaker panel in and get it all, disconnected all these junky wires and just got the bare basics hooked up safe. That way it wouldn't burn the place down. But you guys got to see this over here. The guy that owned this place before me would rent out space to absolutely anybody. And some tweakers wanted to put their trailer house in here and live in it. So that's what he did out here. There's that trailer house right there, and they were living in that with no septic or nothing. Craziness. But for electric, he just ran that wire from the house through here, and then this spot right here to jump it across. He tried to put a meter in there, and he ended up blowing the transformer, and it was a big ordeal. But he just had pieces of copper wire jammed up in there to bridge across. I mean, just extremely fire hazard. Yeah, it was super unsafe. So I disconnect. You can see all the wires are hanging down right there. They're all disconnected now. I need to yank them out of here for copper wire. But all that's disconnected now, and it's all safe to where it's not going to burn the place down. Because I cannot get insurance on this property. Nobody will insure a property anymore if it has a house and a shop on the same property. That's actually a shop that's actually in operation. If it's your personal shop, they'll give you insurance. But other than that, they won't. Crazy. And I called lots of different companies and nobody would do it. Go up these stairs now. Bunches of wood in here. Some of the stuff's extremely expensive now, like that piece there. I don't even know what that would cost to buy now, but it cost a fortune. There's an old wooden chest. That's kind of cool. Check that out. That's a neat piece. Old cabinet. Squeeze through here. Now most of this stuff right here in this area is from the previous owner. This is all stuff he put in here, so none of this is that old in this little area right here. So I don't know if there's any value here or not. Some more old parts there. Most of this is probably just going to go in the scrap. I know there's not a whole lot of metal here, but if it's automotive, I'm allowed to shove it in cars. Bunches of seats, but they've all had rats in them now, so probably no value. That's a big old door that I'm standing on. That thing's huge. It's a little bit warm in here. Don't really see much good in here in this little section. That's a sketchy spot right there. Try to step over to the joist. Yeah, there's bunches more late model stuff. I say late model, I mean it's all late 80s, early 90s, so it's really not even late model, but when it was put in here, it was late model. There's another cable. Get over that. Let's check out this tank. That's kind of a cool tank. Put that up. Yeah, that'll make a really cool jungle lantern there. That's pretty neat. Got the old gauge on it. What's that gauge say? Coleman Lamp Company, Wichita, Kansas. Oh wow. I'll have to pull that off and put a different gauge on it. I'll have to keep that gauge. That's pretty cool. Raccoon, you know, shockingly, I mean, I've got over 20 acres out here. Boom, sorry about that loud noise. But I've got over 20 acres out here and I have never seen raccoon tracks. Ever. I've got coyotes, foxes, deer, turkeys, you name it, but no raccoons. It's unreal. The salvage yard where I usually work, we have tons of raccoons. It's not uncommon to open the hood on a car and a raccoon jump out. Oh, check this out. I forgot this was in here. I'm going to have to pull that off of there. Eck Motor Company. Sales, and then the service has been cut off. It's a shame they cut it off like that just to make a old barn door, but that's still really, really neat. Problem if I have my own auction, if I have my own auction, is to have an auctioneer come in and do it, it's going to cost me about 30% plus setup fees. Whereas if I put the stuff on pallets and sell it through Big Iron, it only costs me 10%. So, the problem with that is it's an online auction, so then for the next month and a half, I have to come out here and meet people so they can get their stuff. Whereas if you have a regular auction, people have to get their stuff out right away. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to go with the online auction though. Whew, that was spooky. That's moving. Scared me for a second, thought I was falling through. Because over here where this floor ends is not very secure. Don't really see anything good up here. Bunches of old gaskets. Let's see if I can hop up here. This is a really neat building. It's got lots of good tin on it. I'm not going to just bulldoze it. I'll probably try to salvage it. Salvage the tin out of it. But I really don't want the building here. It's just one of these days it's not going to be secure anymore and it's going to fall over. Probably got a good 10-15 years left in it at least, but just to be safe. I'm going to set my camera down real quick so I can hop up here. Never mind, I'll do that later. I started putting my weight on this board right here and it started flexing, and I can't jump quite that high. That's about chest level right there, so I'm not going to jump that high. I'll just walk down to the other end and come back up that way. I'm not in the mood to get hurt today. They used to rebuild a lot of Mopar cars out here. The previous owner did, and it's I'm guessing most of this stuff here is Mopar. That's kind of an old seat there, or it looks old. Maybe it's not that old. Oh yeah, I sell everything as parts and repair only. I never, even if I know it works, I never sell it as working. Because I found a lot of times, especially with late model parts, and that's one reason why I don't sell late model parts on eBay, is because people think that eBay is like Amazon, where it's not a big deal if they buy something and return it. They don't realize they're buying from people like me that have a family and a life, and so they're taking time away from my family just so they can part swap stuff and try to see if they can figure out the problem. And it happens all the time where people will buy something, it doesn't fix the problem, so they send it back. So I try to only sell vintage parts. Another chair. Yeah, this whole floor, one day I was up here and this floor dropped about a foot. Scared me half to death. I thought for sure that was it. Whew, it's really warm up here. The higher in the building we go, the warmer it gets. Bunches of wood up here in this upstairs area, right here in this area. I'm not sure who put it up here, how long it's been here, but it's been here quite a while. There's an old taillight trim piece. That's kind of cool. No clue what it goes to though. Looks like just wood stuff over here. Trash, nothing really good. Now here's some cool stuff up here. I have no clue what they go to. Now these have been up here probably since the 60s or 70s. But bunches of old car seats. And they still have the upholstery on them. But these are all out of the 40s and 50s. There's a whole row of them. They go all the way down there. Probably no value at all to those unless a guy could really identify them. But none of them are marked, so there's really no way of identifying them. So they're probably just scrap, but they're still neat. There's a better look at those chairs from the backside. Anything back here? Some vintage computer stuff. Just scrap, but these old computers a lot of times have really thick gold-plated parts inside them. So stuff like your CPUs and whatnot are usually worth quite a bit more for scrap than the newer stuff. Some more computer parts. Oh, this old cabinet shelf thingamajigger is kind of neat. Check that out. That's really neat. I don't know if it had doors. It probably had doors at one time. They're gone now. Yeah, I'm guessing it. I'm guessing it had doors. Yeah, okay, I see now. It's got holes up along the top where it had something screwed on there. But yeah, that's kind of neat. That'll definitely sell. That'll probably bring decent money, actually. That's a really unusual piece. There's an old propane bottle cabinet that they could lock up. That's as neat. I think I could get it out of here. It'd be a challenge to get this thing down. Oh, it's wood. Huh. All this time I thought it was metal, but it's wood, and just these are metal. But I mean, just check that thing out. That is so cool. It's not a propane cabinet like I thought it was, because those are all metal. Kind of neat wing nuts on there. All right, there's some cool pieces. See, those will sell pretty good on eBay. Coke or Pepsi? Probably Pepsi. And honestly, I like chocolate Pepsi, where you put a little bit of chocolate syrup in the bottom of a Pepsi, stir it up. That's pretty good. That's a habit I got from my dad. He likes those. Yeah, this is a very cool cabinet. Yeah, Teslas are cool, but they kind of scare me. I've seen so many of them where people get locked inside them and something goes wrong, and then they catch on fire, and then people can't get out. Just seems really scary to me. If I owned a Tesla, I would definitely have one of those deals to break out windows. Or any electric car for that matter. Anything up here? Old cabinets. Kind of a narrow seat there. I don't know what that would have been out of. Some old chairs. Those are kind of neat. Old furniture just doesn't have a whole lot of value though. This type of furniture anyway. I do like the Rivians. I think they're pretty cool. But I'll probably buy an electric car down the road a ways once they're more other people work the bugs out, I guess is the way to say it. I don't want to be one of the guinea pigs. What in the world do we got here? Got some space age seats right here. These things are super sci-fi looking. Huh. Now those there might actually be worth something. Just because they're so unusual looking. That is crazy. I don't know what those would be out of, but bucket seats out of something. Just the way they were. Everything about these. I mean, they could put those on a set of Star Trek and they'd look right in place. Huh. Oh wow, look at these. Cool cabinets. None of those computers were Apples. I did find a couple Commodore 64s in the trunk of a car. Sold them on eBay for pretty good money. Yeah, these are all nailed till it takes them out. I bet you these old cubbies will sell pretty good, especially this one and this one. These are really neat. Go back over here. Well, there's an old awning. Metal awning. Ooh, that's a soft spot in the floor. That was almost bad news. I don't have that many motorcycles. I think I have like 5 of them and they're all in one spot. There's an old Harley Hummer that's burnt to a crisp. And a couple, I think, Kawasaki's or something out of the 60s, 70s. That's pretty cool in there. It's missing the braces, but just the design of it is different than usual. So I think I can probably get pretty good money out of that right there. Yeah, these things here, I don't know. There's probably, I mean, I'm positive there's no value in these, but I'm gonna have to lug them all out of here and take them to landfill. Small garage doors. I don't see anything else cool. I think we're about to the end of the cool stuff. What is this? I'm just trying to be really careful on this floor up here because it really scares me. I'm not sure what that is. Somebody might need that for something. They make a cool produce stand, putting apples or something like that in. Oh, that's neat. Check out this old lamp. Oh, it's plastic. Bummer. I thought it was metal. That would have been really cool if that was a metal one. This whole floor is shaking on me. I don't think there's any supports underneath me right now. Whew. Yeah, we're gonna get off of this. Work our way over here. There's one more thing I want to check out, but this floor up here is really scaring me. Let's get a little bit closer to the edge where it's a little bit more supported. If this is what I think it is, it's probably a fairly valuable piece. Oh, there's an old saw blade. Oh, it's broken. It's an old light fixture, but it's busted out. Bummer. Well, I don't really see anything else valuable up here. I must have had stuff stored even all the way up here at one point in time. Huh. Yeah, not much good up here. When I do clean this building out the rest of the way, this is definitely going to be a winter job. Because it's not even hot today. It's like 82 degrees. And I am drenched in sweat up here in this top area. Here's another cubby with big cubbies in it. That'll sell. Actually, I might even keep that one. I can actually use that one to put stuff in. Most of my stuff is big, so I really don't have a use for small cubbies like that. There's a cool old radiator cap. It probably had wings or something on it at one point in time. Huh, that's pretty neat. What's this? Piece of trim off of something. There's an old light. It's got a crack in it, but it's still kind of neat. Huh. It would have been so cool just to be able to go back in time and come up here with one of the old time junkers and search through the parts and find the part you're looking for. I've crushed out a few antique salvage yards. When I was younger, we crushed out a bunch of them. Seemed like there was a phase in through the 90s, all through the 90s, where just tons and tons and tons of antique yards crushed out. I think it was just because that generation was dying off back then. I don't really see anything else in here. There's one more room downstairs I forgot to kind of go through. We'll go back down there. Yeah, we crushed a salvage yard in a little tiny town called Chase, Kansas. The salvage yard was called Popeyes. And the guy died and his wife just didn't want to mess with it, so she had us crush him out. And we paid her $18 a ton for her cars. And we were getting $24 a ton, so we were only making $6 a ton. Check out these things. Old barn door rollers with the stars on them. But yeah, we crushed those cars out, and she said absolutely nothing gets saved. Crush it all. So we were crushing rows of Tri-5 Chevys. I mean, there was Nomads, two-door hardtops, you name it. Crushed a bunch of old Chargers and Barracudas and stuff out of the 60s and 70s. We were just going to town crushing everything. Then all of a sudden one day, a guy was out there loading an old, I think it was a Roadrunner. Yeah, he was loading a Roadrunner on his trailer. We said, what are you doing? And he said, well, she sold me this car. So we went and asked her about it. And she said, well, he offered me $50 for that car. I couldn't believe it was worth that much money, so I thought I'd sell a few of them. So we said, well, you told us you didn't want to sell any of them. And she said, well, I didn't think they were worth that much money. So we ended up buying a few of them. I brought home a 51 Chrysler and a 67 Thunderbird and a few others. I was, I think, 12 years old when we crushed that one out. An old fem blade. The only leak in this whole building is right here. Upstairs, you can kind of see where the floor's rotted out. It leaks right here, and that's the only leak, surprisingly. But yeah, I wish so bad would have had a camera back when I was a kid, because all the antique cars that we crushed. I mean, and we'd go to farm auctions all the time. Let me turn my camera around so I can talk to you guys. There we go. But yeah, we went to farm auctions all the time, and we'd buy old cars, and they'd have old cars out there in the field, and they said, what am I bid? And you know, we'd buy them for $1 or $2, complete old cars out of the 40s and 50s and 60s. And we'd go out there. My dad had an old 67 Ford 3/4 ton with a hand crank winch on it. And so you'd have to go up there and hand crank the cars up in the air, put jacks on them, put tires on them, get the brakes broke free, set them back down. And I'm 32 years old. Most of these stories I'm telling you right now are out of the 90s. And we'd take those old cars and we get where you can see me, but yet the wind isn't blowing on me. There we go. But we'd do that, and boy, we'd break those cars up. I was just a little kid, so I just ride in the truck with him. We'd crank those cars up, and he'd bring them in. He'd have to pull the seats out, drain the fluids out, pull the gas tanks out, and then he'd have to haul them into the shredder and take the tires back off. So that was quite a different world back then. Couldn't put anything in the cars at all. They had to be very empty cars and no seats in them. It was a total different world. But man, we junked a lot of cars. Somewhere there's pictures of me standing on top of once. I think I was, how old was I when we bought our first crusher? I'll go ahead and tell you guys this story. I think I was 7 or 8. It would have been the late 90s, sometime around then. We bought our first crusher, and what happened was my dad took a car into the shredder, and you could leave the front seats in, but you had to take the back seats out. So he took it in there. They called him up and chewed him out for leaving a battery in a car. And so he said, I never leave batteries in cars. Back then, batteries were worth about 20 cents a piece is all you could get out of them. So they were really more work to get out than what they were worth, but you had to pull them. So he goes out there to see this battery, and they gave him third degree. They reach inside the car, and they pull out a flashlight from underneath the seat, and they said, you left a C battery in this flashlight. Man, you tried to rip us off. And so my dad got mad and said, that's a little bit ridiculous. So he went out and borrowed the money and bought a crusher. And then I've got pictures of me when I was a little kid and standing on top of just stacks of antique cars that have been crushed in the piles. It was crazy back then. I didn't take pictures or record it or nothing. That's one reason why I started this YouTube channel, is just because I wanted to document all this stuff before it's completely gone. Yes, I bought all the contents of this barn. I bought the whole property out here. So it's all mine, unfortunately. I'm the one that's going to have to clean it all out, but maybe it'll make cool YouTube content. Like I said, I'm not doing it until it cools down, though. It's just too hot. This down here, I am going to clean this out. Let me turn this camera around again. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to come in here, and everything from about here this way is all going to be completely gone, and all that back there is going to be completely gone. That way I can start selling stuff in here. And I'll go ahead and use this building for a while it's still halfway holding together. But once it starts developing more leaks and stuff, I'll have to just go ahead and tear it down. It's not worth fixing. If it wasn't for this steel pipe frame in here, this building wouldn't even be standing yet today. There are actually 2 barns out here. I don't know if you can see the other one over there or not through this window. It's kind of bright out there. That one over there, that one's actually rented out. That one's in better condition than this one. But it's rented out. The guy uses it to store his stuff in. Yeah, bunches of neat stuff in here. Now this is all stuff that I've added. I'll go ahead and show it to you though, in case you didn't see my videos where I brought it in here. Got this old tailgate. That's a pretty cool one. Yeah, those bikes are sold. Those aren't anything too fancy. A couple old banana bikes, then an old skip tooth, something or another. But I sold those on Friday. This one here is actually pretty cool. I take that back. This is an old Silver King. I thought here it's broken, but that's just going to be a junkyard cabin art. Those are from that farm cleanup I did last winter. These bikes here I'm keeping. These are old chrome frame space liners. Actually, I think this one's a Flying O. No, this is a Hiawatha. Okay, yeah, this is a Hiawatha. That's a space liner. I've always liked these chrome frame bikes, so I try to keep them whenever I find them. There's an old bed frame back there. Old stove. A few odds and pieces. I've sold some of this stuff. All this came from that farm cleanup I did last winter. I sold one of these wooden file cabinets. This pretty cool old fridge here. It's not full of beer. Ain't nothing in there. Maybe a rat nest. And looks like a cherry Coke can. I thought maybe I could market this to the Amish. The bus cabin project isn't really going anywhere. It's still kind of just sitting there. I've just been so busy crushing cars and doing other cleanups. Hopefully this summer maybe it'll slow down. I don't know. I keep saying that, but then it just never slows down. Prices keep dropping, but everybody keeps swarming me with stuff anyway. Yeah, the Amish like these old fridges because they don't run on electricity. So they can buy those and they can use them in their house and have refrigeration without worshiping the devil. I shouldn't have said that. That was mean. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Let's go over here and check out these tires. We got a little bit of time left. This old tire machine's mine. They say it works, but it had some issues. I need to just go ahead and get it out of here and have it actually rebuilt, and then it'll be a nice tire machine. It's old coats. I mean, these are good machines when they're working right. And this one here's not all tore up, so I bet it just needs a new air bladder in it. And they were using it. They actually use it in here all the time. They just said it was super, super slow. But I'm sure all these tires are rotted now. So I got to get all these out of here. I've been shoving a few in cars every time I do it. Because I have a farm out here, I can actually take all these to the landfill and dispose of them for free. If you have a farm, they'll take tires for free. But as long as they're still accepting tires in cars, I might as well shove them in cars and get paid for them. I don't think oiling will fix it. It might. I could try that. But we have several of these coats now, actually. We've had several through the years, and the air bladder just likes to go bad in these. They're just really old machines. And it's probably never been replaced. And it's not an expensive fix. But yeah, if I can get that working again, that'd be pretty cool. I could use a tire machine. Of course, I don't really have a place to put it. One of these days, I'd love to build a building out here, but man, they're just so stinking expensive. I bought this property, and I was planning on building a building right away, and just about the time I bought this place, everything started taking off like a rocket. Yeah, I don't care about tearing up alloy rims. I just throw them in the scrap anyway. That's one thing I don't do is sell wheels. Every now and then I'll get a really cool set of vintage wheels, and if I get something like that, I'll just take it to the tire shop. They only charge $6 to dismount a tire, so. And I don't sell tires either, so a lot of times those there will rip the bead on tires if you don't oil them up real good, or if you do it when it's really cold outside. If you don't do it in a heated shop and the rubber's cold, it'll just rip it right off of there, the bead. So if you're wanting to actually keep the stuff, you got to be careful. Here's another old tailgate. Not old, but Dodge. Out of the 90s. That'll probably sell for decent money there. I was kind of walking through here seeing if there's anything else that I missed. Oh, check this out. This isn't really cool, but this reminds me that pretty soon, probably the month of June, at some point in time, I'm going to make a video of crushing random household objects in the car crusher. I've been saving stuff up, and I found this the other day when I was in here working, dug it out a little bit, so that's going to be one of the items. The mini fan upstairs, I'll have to grab that back down, do a little bit of research on it. I don't know what that one's worth. I bought a factory GM electric fan like that one time at an auction. I think I gave 20 bucks for it, and I threw it on eBay for a bid. Just bid on it. I started it out at, I think, $30, and that thing went for like $250. I know that one up there is not that valuable. It's not a GM fan or anything, and it's not as nice, but you just never know on those things. I don't have any diamonds. I got a couple Federals, 1948 Federals, and I'd like to get $1,500 a piece for those. Yeah, I want to get a rim crusher eventually. Just like everything else right now, it's expensive, and I'm on a budget, so I can't just buy everything I want. Oh, it looks like the wind's starting to die down out here a little bit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the other day I came in here and that van right over there, I backed it in the doors, I shoved it in here and opened up the back doors and just stuffed it clear full of metal. I made a video of that. That'll be posting here in a week or two. I'm slowly getting caught up on my videos. I've been trying not to record very much. Main reason I'm actually recording today is because I needed to post something in the first part of the week, because I can't post my next video until Thursday because it's a sponsored video, and they wanted it posted on Thursday, so I thought I'd just come out here and do a live video. Said before, I cannot sell these things. They absolutely cannot be sold. I can't even cut them up and sell pieces of them. They have to be destroyed, but I can take them and go through them and show you all the cool ones, at least. They're all taped closed, I can't really get in them, but there's some neat stuff in here. It's kind of a shame. Some of these are fairly valuable. There's a bunch of In God We Trust in this box, I think. There's personalized plates. I mean, you name it. Last time I got a batch of these things, there's some really cool ones. These here are the real shame to crush. I mean, some of these are worth big money. Especially these Friends University. Those are very hard to find, and these here are new and unused. If I was able to sell those, they'd bring big money. These Benedictine College plates are pretty rare too. I think these are just shocker plates. These aren't that rare. These have to be sheared in half, long ways, to where they're completely destroyed. They just don't want them in circulation. They don't want crafters to use them. We actually had to sign a waiver saying that we would not sell these to collectors. We would not sell these for our arts and crafts. Nothing. They have to be sheared in half, long ways. And I've got a shear to do it with. I can put about 5 or 6 in there at a time and shear them. Then I just drop them in an aluminum box. It takes a bunch of time to do it, but I mean, they're free. Or I think we gave $100 for all of them, but I mean, there's probably 1,500 pounds of clean aluminum there, so it's well worth it. Yeah, I don't enjoy it. I hate doing it, but I mean, at 1,500 pounds at 70 cents a pound or whatever they're bringing right now, pretty good money for a day's work. Yeah, what I want to do in here next, my next thing I want to do is come in here with the skid steer, grab all this big metal stuff over here, these rototillers. These here I've got to run to the landfill. This here is clear full of paint, and these are full of roofing tar. I have no clue what's in that drum, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. The landfill only take 5 gallons of chemicals at a time, oil, paint, anything. You can only take a maximum of 5 gallons total at a time. So that there, I'm actually going to have to empty it out into 5-gallon buckets. So what I'm going to have to do with actually all of these is I'm going to lay them out by the street out front. The landfill's just right down the street. I mean, it takes less than 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes to get there, probably like 2 minutes. So I'll lay them out by the street. I'll run down here, grab one, take it to the landfill, run back, grab one, take it to the landfill, run back, grab one, take it to the landfill. Super annoying to have to do it that way, but that's the only way they'll take them. One of those dumb draconian rules. Here's some old skis. I have no clue why these are here in here. I mean, we are nowhere near mountains. The mountains are about a 9-hour drive away, the closest mountains. Colorado Springs is about 9 hours from here. I don't know if there's anything cool back here or not. An old cart, that's kind of... Oh, that's what I was going to show you guys. I completely forgot about it. These old tables, these iron tables here with the little ball feet on them. These are really cool. I've had several people offer me pretty good money for these two. There's 2 of them in here. Those are probably worth some really, really big money, but don't want to sell them yet because I'm using them right now. But once I'm done using them, I'll probably go ahead and sell them. What I'd really like to do is buy a couple of export containers and put them out front and lock them up and kind of space them apart a little bit to where I can put a roof over the top of them. Then I can park the skid steer underneath that. I can put electricity to them, put lights in them. I can even put an air conditioner in them and insulate them and put plugins and actually use them for a building because they're just a whole lot cheaper. But even those now are expensive. I checked on it the other day, And to buy an export container, a 40-foot export container, you're looking at, I think they said $7,000 delivered. Just crazy. I mean, you used to be able to buy them for $2,500 delivered, but still, even if a guy shops around, you could probably find one for around $6,000 delivered. So that'd be $12,000 for two of them. That's a whole lot cheaper than buying a building. I mean, they're not as nice as a building, but you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I wish it wasn't windy out. I'd go show you the other barn a little bit, but as soon as I walk outside, it's just going to turn to in the microphone. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of good stuff in here, but there's a few things, like those aluminum lawn chairs that were up there. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I'll probably get somewhere around $300 to $400 out of that pile. Yeah, near the ports. I'm in the middle of Kansas. We don't get export containers out here. It has to be a dedicated drive from a long ways away to bring it here. What's bad is we're cleaning up a factory outside of town, and they've got tons of 20-foot export containers that have only been used one time. They came from Europe to here, and that's all. And they've only been used that one time. Well, actually, they came from China to Europe and then to here. But they have to be destroyed on location. They absolutely do not want anybody to use them. One of those things, like, I don't understand why, but I'm sure they've got the reasons. They're an international corporation, and I guess they just don't want to deal with it. So that's very unfortunate. Any other questions? Anybody got any questions? We've been here for a little over an hour now. I don't even know what time it is. Does it show you the time on the screen when you're recording? Let me check my phone. That's 10:15. So yeah, I got a bunch of time. I don't have anything going on for several more hours yet, so I'm just kind of out here hanging out. See if there's anything in here that I missed. Oh, these are neat. Yeah, the chairs are old. They're just not worth a whole lot of money. I've had some really cool chairs. Brothers and sisters? Yeah, I've got a couple brothers and sister. My one brother, he comes out every now and then, but he's in college. The tags I'll be shearing in half long ways. No, there was no toxic stuff in the containers. They just want them destroyed. We're getting all the stuff out of the containers. They just won't let us have the containers unless we cut them up on location. Oh, I thought these were wood. Those are solid steel bars. I went to pick one up to see what it was, and that's not wood. Yeah, all these cabinets in here. I'll try to sell all these cubby cabinets. Yeah, hit that like button. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. I know this video is a little bit slower than my actual ones that have been edited, but that's why I edit videos, is so they're not all long and drawn out. There's a lot of dead space in here, but if you enjoyed it, please edit, or please don't edit. Please like and subscribe. What is that? I have no clue. Oh, I know what that is. There's one identical to that in that 49 Chevy I just bought the other day. It's for a PTO. No, I don't know Chad. I've heard of him, but I've never met him or talked to him. Yeah, that hole right up there, you see that? $100 for the mower. No, I gave quite a bit more than that. There's nothing wrong with that mower. But that hole right there, that's where they had the electric running through. Just crazy. The wood is rotted in this building. That's why I'm not going to put new metal on it. What's in here? Yeah, if the building was structurally sound, I'd just put new metal on it and rebuild it. But I mean, I'd literally have to rebuild everything in this building. Some of the wood's okay, but some of it's pretty sketchy. I'm not going to the lake today. It's way too windy. I think 5 people died yesterday out on the lake. There's absolutely no reason to go in the water in this wind. I know it's fun, and I know everybody's off work, but people are crazy if they're going out in the water today. What is this cart? That's kind of neat. Didn't even know that was in here. Huh. It's unusual. Oh, what's back here? I'm sure it's just full of a rat nest. But the metal's not that great. I mean, I could try too, but I don't really want to build a shed. If I want to build a building, I want to build a nice building. What else we got? Oh, here's an old carburetor. An old, little tiny radiator. The roof that blew off, no. And actually, I was going to do a video about that later in the week. That building, we had 5 inches of rain this week, or last week, I guess, and it completely flooded out in there. I lost tons of stuff in there. I didn't get it cleaned out in time because I'm just always running so busy. So I'm probably going to make a video cleaning that building out either later this week or the week after. And I've got tons of antiques in there. I'm just going to scrap them all. At this point in time, I just don't care. I didn't get them out in time. There's a few of them are sold already, and so I'm going to see if the people still want them. And beyond that, most of the stuff in there is just going to get scrapped. Really unfortunate. I was actually going to record a video that day, and when I went in there and saw that, it just made me sick. So I just walked back out and said, forget it, didn't record nothing. But I've got probably 50 or 60 vintage bikes in there. I'm going to stack those on my trailer, and then I got a bunch of old car parts and things like that. And some of them didn't get rained on. Parts of the roof are still halfway holding together, but so if they're still halfway salvageable, I'm going to bring them out here for the auction. But all the stuff that got rained on and soaked with water, I'm just going to go ahead and pitch. And then the bicycles, nobody buys bicycles, so they're really hard to sell, so I'm going to scrap those. Here's something cool. An old funnel down there. I like this old mailbox. This came from that farm cleanup. Kind of a funky design. Don't know if there's anything cool on the shelf. This is interesting stuff. I should have put renter's insurance on everything in that building a long time ago. Oh, there's an old watering pail. That's cool. But I didn't get it done. So it is what it is. I done made my money on all the stuff in there anyway. It's all stuff I bought, and I'd sell half of it, you know, and make 5 times the money what I paid. And so then I wasn't in a hurry to sell the rest of it. All this stuff here, I took pictures of. I'm getting ready to put this on eBay. All this old hardware. These old auger bits. All that I just took pictures of, so that'll be on eBay pretty soon. I didn't take pictures of the short ones yet. I actually don't have a tape measure in here, so I need to take one more picture of each of these, showing the dimensions. Yeah, U-Haul tow bar's kind of neat, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape still. I'll probably just take that to the auction. I have no use for a tow bar, but I'll take that to the auction and sell it. I don't know when the next antique auction is. When I have the antique auction, I'm probably going to take this and probably a bunch of this stuff in here. Got this old chainsaw, these old typewriters, a bunch of old toys. I'm going to take a whole bunch of this stuff to the antique auction. I mean, I bought all this at an auction. I'll probably just be lucky to get my money back. But cars right now just dropped. I'm paying $170 a ton. They'll probably drop again this week, I'm sure. They dropped last week. Yeah, there's a bunch of antiques. Stuff like this I'll sell on eBay. These here always do really good on eBay. And I know I like selling that sort of stuff. And the tools I'll sell online, but all that sort of stuff I'm just going to go dump. The chainsaw. Yeah, this is an old, what is this? This is David Bradley. Yeah, this is David Bradley. Oh, there's the cover for it. Oh, man, this thing's a beast. A 360. I used to sell a lot of chainsaws online, but man, shipping has gotten absolutely killer. It still turns over. Yeah, I'm sure it's real safe to use. I know people that use antique saws like that. They just like using them. Not me. I like my Husqvarna Rancher. Yeah, that's a pretty cool piece. I'm just going to take it to the auction. I've got a bunch of antique saws. I've got a few of them I want to keep because I really like them. But beyond that, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I find the right people for all my saws. I'm gonna take some of them to the auction, but some of my really rare ones, I'm gonna try to find a collector for them. They're worth the time to sell. Aluminum wheels have dropped like 40 cents a pound in the last few weeks. I think right now they're paying 95 cents or something like that. I've got a bunch of acrylic saws. Sometime I'll have to show you guys all my saws I have in the other building. It's the other place though. I guess we can walk out there. I don't what the audio is going to sound like, but I'll walk back there and show you the cabin real quick while I got a few minutes left. Shut my flashlight off. There we go. That'd make a loud bicycle engine. You have to wear earplugs to ride it. If the audio gets darbly, I'm sorry. But these trees kind of block the wind, but every now and then a gust comes through and it's loud. This van right here is clear full of antique parts, Studebaker parts mainly. I'll probably try to put those in the auction when I get set up for it. This old Barracuda, I've had a lot of people asking about it. A lot of people have asked for pictures, and I send them pictures and nobody's really bought it. This car sold the other day. That'll be in a video coming up. I have no clue on copper. I don't ever deal in copper. Too many tweakers have it, and I just don't even want to get involved. So what copper I find, I save until I get enough of it to sell. Yeah, lunch is over. I'm off today, so I got all the time in the world. All these cool old Buicks. I think what I'm going to do, I think it'd be kind of a fun video, is I'm going to take that old California, GS California down there, and I'm going to make a video of dragging it out, putting tires on it, cleaning it up, advertising it for sale, all that good stuff. I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't know. Sometimes what I think is going to be fun, nobody else enjoys, so we'll see. I've got some cool developments, things I've bought for the junkyard cabin. I just haven't got it all put together yet. But I got this set of steps right here. I have these in a video. I don't know if that video is posted yet or not, but I've got these here, and they'll be kind of up at an angle, and they go up to the top of these right here. These came from the place that has the export containers that have to be destroyed, and these technically have to be destroyed as well, but I just won't get around to destroying them for a very long time. We'll just put it that way. But those steps bolt on right up here, and then these have a walkway up at the top of them. You can kind of see that up there, and they're on pallets now. I gotta get them off the pallets, and I'm going to take all this center section out. This in here just has a big radiator and these electric motors. I'm going to clean all that out to where it's just the bare frame, and then I'm going to take at least two of them, maybe more. We've got a bunch more of them, and I'm going to put them over here beside the bus. I'll probably put some on both sides of the bus. That way I kind of have a big area up top, and they're not quite as tall as the bus. They're about the same height as the top windows, and I can still hop up on the roof. But I thought that'd be kind of cool, so I have a big area up on top, so I can put out lounge chairs or whatever, and we can hang out and look at the stars. I think that'd be pretty cool. I've got all those sheets of tin laying up front. I want to bring back here and put underneath this thing, stop the grass from growing. I had all this grass completely gone. As you see, it all came back in, but that's what that lawnmower inside the building's for. I just got to put a new gas tank on it, and then I can come out here and mow all this. Those would make good frames for a deer blind. Yeah, this is all the further I've gotten on the bus. I got my stove partially put in. I just never got around to cutting a hole. And then it's too hot for a stove anyway, so worry about that next winter. These seats are mostly ready to come out. I just have to go through and take all of these out. But that's going to be a two-person job. I'm going to have somebody underneath the bus, or somebody inside the bus holding a wrench on these heads. Then I'll go underneath it with the impact and zip the nuts off. But I'll get that done eventually. It's too hot in here to go camping in this anyway now. Like right now, I've been in here for 5 seconds and I'm already sweating. Yeah, this will make a really cool cabin once I'm done with it. Yeah, don't camp during tornado watches. Yeah, this time of year though, we're almost always under a tornado watch. No, I hardly found any morels this year. It was a really dry year. We got a bunch of rain now, of course, but a little too late. I don't know, Carlos. If you get out of bed and step outside, you know how hot it is outside. I know Carlos. He's from here in Hutch, so he knows what the temperature is. This area right here, what I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to order a brush hog for my skid steer. It's not my skid steer, it's my dad's skid steer, but I use it out here. And I'm going to order a brush hog for it. I'm going to come in here and clean out all this brush. Then I've got that round top piece up there by that dumpster. You guys have seen that in previous videos. I'm going to come back in here and dig a hole in the ground, and I'm going to kind of partially bury that and build walls, make kind of an underground bunker back here in these trees. I think it'd be kind of cool. Then I come through here, knock all these trees down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this area. Like I said, I think I'm going to put some more of those deals, whatever they are, right here. I think that'd be kind of cool to have them along the sides of the bus. I got to get all this stuff out of here. All this is what's inside those export containers, is this stuff right here. All brand new stuff. But they're scrapping it all because they're going out of business. We have to take the wood, the metal, and all. But we don't pay a whole lot for it. So, but then we have to pay to get rid of the wood at the landfill. So, but it's okay. It all works out in the end. We get a lot of, like this here is solid aluminum, except for the electric motors. And then the bolts are all stainless. And those are the same price as all the steel. So this is where I cut the old trucks up. My video that posts on Thursday, that truck actually got saved, but I cut up an old truck right here in this area. Ooh, that wind is getting gusty out here in the field. Let's head back up front. I've got these old combine cabs over here. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do with those yet. I tried to sell them. Nobody was really interested, so I'm going to keep them. I've got 2 of them here. Got that in there. That in there was on an old Oliver. All this stuff over here I'm just going to sell. Got that old 3-point blade there. I'm going to try to modify that to work on the skid steer. That truck there, I have no clue why I put it right there, but I put it right in the way. Sometimes I do that and I don't know why. Need to get it back out and crush it. Some of these trucks, like this one here, I really hate to crush it. It's a 73. I've got a clean title to it, but it's just a little bit rusty on the cab. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and yank the cab off of it and turn the back half into a trailer. That way I have a utility trailer if I ever need it. Every single one of these cars right here, these later model cars, I parked right where they're sitting. That truck over there, I drove it in. Bunches of junk. You guys saw all this in my last live video though. I'm gonna go up here by the other barn. It's locked up. I can't really go inside. Plus he's got all his stuff in there. He won't want me videoing his stuff, but I'll just kind of talk about the barn itself. When I bought it, they had an auction inside the building and kind of sold some of the contents, but there was still a lot of stuff left over. I was digging through it and I found a bunch of NOS Buick windshields out of the 40s and 50s. And then there's some other cool stuff in there too that we found. There's this old grain silo back here from back when this was actually a farm. This was a farm, man, probably at least 60 years ago. I think it ceased being a farm sometime in the 60s and became a salvage yard instead. But that silo there used to be a fire station right across the street. And so you can see they have those deals up the side of it and a chain at the top. And they would actually come out here and practice scaling walls on the side of this. My dad came out here when they crushed out, and inside that was clear full of brass headlight buckets, and he bought them all for scrap brass and busted all the glass out and scrapped them. And then this building here, and then there were some more buildings. They're all long gone now, but they're clear full of carburetors, starters, magnetos, that sort of stuff, and he scrapped them all out. Bunches of money, I'm sure, went away. I gotta tear this thing down at some point. Go in here real quick. I got all these car seats I got to get out for scrap. And then I got to come in here. I have to clean all the stuff out. Anything that's not actually part of a house has to come out. So any trash, like the curtains have to come out. The pictures on the walls, anything like that, blankets, all that stuff has to come out. Furniture. Then I can tear the trailer house down. Because if you leave that stuff in here and you send it all together, they charge you double at the landfill. So I've actually got to come in here and clean all that out. All these plastic hangers. I mean, if they see a candy wrapper in the load, they'll charge you double for the whole load. Yeah, I'll make a video tearing this thing down at some point in time. There we go. Yeah, I'm probably going to head out here in a few minutes. Where are we at? We're at 80 minutes now. So yeah. I was shooting for an hour and a half. That's 10 more minutes, but Probably won't make it that long. It's windy out here. I'll go back in here. Any more questions before we head out? There was another salvage yard one time. We didn't actually crush the cars. That was right before we got our own crusher. Some outfit out of Texas came in, but we bought all the little stuff. And there was a trailer house there. It was a salvage yard that had nothing but old Studebakers mainly, and really old Studebakers. And I forget the name of the salvage, but they crushed out. But we went in that trailer house and it was just clear full of almost like new starters and stuff out of the teens and 20s, and scrapped them all. Well, I could tell stories all day long with the really cool stuff that we've scrapped through the years. Yeah, I need to clean stuff out. The problem is there was a couple days last week I worked 18 hours a day between working at the job, packaging stuff for eBay, editing videos for YouTube. So when am I going to do it all? In fact, when I get off the camera now, I'm going to go work in the building a little bit while I'm here, then I'll head out. I don't remember where everything is. That's why I go through my own stuff sometimes, just to remember what all I have. Because I have no clue what I have even. Any more questions? I'll hang out for a couple more minutes here in case somebody else has another question. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit warm out there, but that wind keeps it cooled down a little bit. Motorhomes are not worth scrapping at all. I do not accept them. The only reason I have these trailer houses is because they were on the property when I bought it. Nah, I refuse motorhomes. Guys, be looking forward to Thursday evening. I'll have my next video coming out. And I rescued a 1939 International, well, kind of rescued. I didn't technically rescue it. I already brought it here, but it went to a new home. Motorhomes, I recommend people get the bodies ready to rip off and they take them to the landfill and they'll rip the bodies off of them for you. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to make a video of tearing the excavator, or tearing the trailer house down with the excavator. Like I say, my filming schedule for this week, these videos obviously won't post for several weeks, but tomorrow I got a really cool thing I'm going to go after. It's pretty cool. It's going to be one of my favorite videos I've made in a long time. And then later in the week, I got a cleanup to do. And then probably next week, I'm going to film crushing some random stuff in the crusher. Yeah, I'm going to go hang out with the family this afternoon. It's kind of a complicated situation, Big Red. This is my property. I own this property. A lot of the old cars out here are mine. A lot of the old cars are my dad's. Most of the late model cars are my dad's. The yard where I usually crush cars, all the loaders, the crushers, all that stuff belongs to my dad. I just work there. I'm on salary. So sometimes it's my stuff that you see in the videos. Sometimes it's my dad's stuff. Sometimes I'm on the clock working. Sometimes I'm on my own time working. So you just never know. I'm going to probably close this out when we hit 85 minutes. We're at just over 83 and a half minutes. But yeah, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I'm going to have to go find me some water. It's getting warm. I got some in the truck. I'm not worried. I got some out there. Hope everybody stays safe. If you're in a windy area like this, stay safe. Be responsible. Yeah, Big Red, I did sell the dump truck. It is sold. Yeah, motorhomes are not a good investment. Unless you just love traveling and you do it a lot, I don't see a whole lot of reason to buy a motorhome. If I was retired and wanted to travel a lot, I'd buy one, but at this point in my life, it would just be a waste of money. I'd use it once a year. Yeah, the Gemini space capsule here in Hutch, the Cosmosphere here in Hutch is pretty cool. If you like space stuff, you have to come to Hutchinson and check out the Cosmosphere. It's really cool. It's well worth the trip just to see that. It's probably one of the few things in Hutch that's actually worth coming to see. Yeah, I went there the other day, actually. I hadn't been there in years, and they've done a lot of work to it, and they've really changed a lot of stuff in there. It's pretty nice. It's free for us. If you live in Reno County, you can go for free. So I can get in for free anytime I want to go. The kids go all the time. They've got a little activity place for the kids downstairs, and they can do all sorts of cool experiments. But it's not expensive if you're from out of town. It's not expensive to get in anyway. Well, I guess that's it. We're at the 85-minute mark. I'm going to let you all go. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Be checking back for future videos. And if you're watching this video after it's already posted, please give a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. And just like I say, keep checking back. You just never know what we're going to post next. And every now and then I might just pop on live. You just never know. So you got to be subscribed if you want to know that I'm going live. But anyway, hope you all have a great day. I will see you next time.